Welcome to the video, guys. Happy New Year. It's not technically the new year here, but I know when you guys watching it, it is. And we're starting off the new year with a lot of great news. But before we get into the massive details and the huge changes that are evident in the title and or the description and or thumbnail of this video, we've got some great news. We have found the culprit of the 34 GTR woes. Do you want to explain what we have found, Johan?
So, we're removing the cam. Yesterday, Adam had a lot of tequila shots. I had a lot of sriracha shots. And we came back together today and retraced our steps. And then the clearance in one of the exhaust valves on the cylinder 2 was too tight. Too tight to a point, like yesterday I checked and it gave me a tighter tolerances. But today I respun the engine, checked everything again. I tapped the buckets to reseat anything if everything was not moving and check the clearance, and I couldn't even get 3/1000 filler gauge in there.
What that basically means, there's a little shim popped out, got wedged in, so now it's too tight, and that's what's causing a slight misfire at idle. I don't understand why it didn't show up on a leak down test. It could just be that small, but it is obviously a problem. And I just so happened to be on the phone with UP Garage while we literally made this finding, and they gave us some advice on a quicker way to get the cam out without having to pull the whole lower cover and the radiator and everything out. So hopefully that car will be good as new and nothing else got damaged. And also found out that they still have some stuff left on the table to gain with the V-cam. We're not taking full advantage of the amount of degrees we can command out of it or how soon we can. So this car definitely has some mid-range and some response down low that we previously hadn't gotten out of it. So definitely got to get this thing back in the dyno when Jamie comes back down and has some more time. But I'm stoked. Finally, it is no more sleepless nights.
Nope.
Love how clean this motor is. So nice to look at.
You can get off of it.
I know. Let's see. What's underneath? Where's the shim? Oh, it's off center, right? Don't move it.
No, sorry, but
yeah.
So
it was crooked, wasn't it?
it was off center. It was like that.
Uh-huh.
Which, if it was like that, then that means it's not center on the keeper.
Mm-hmm. So it was like if you put that shim, and the shim was like resting on the side. So now we gotta inspect and make sure that the keepers and everything is fine. So that's how it should be.
Right.
But it was off to the side.
Right.
Like kind of resting like.
So the bucket looks good.
It was resting kind of like that, if that makes sense. Visually, everything appears to check out, so it looks like we looked at on that end, but the real test is once the cam's back in, we can measure the clearances and make sure everything looks good, and then that should tell us. But I think the fact that we had zero noise and the leak down still good just means that it was just such a small difference.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? It's like 20 thousandths, right? About variance?
With the shim?
Yeah,
I mean,
versus with the shim
the
wedge, with the shim wedge versus how it should have been.
The different, like I couldn't even get a 3/1000 filler gauge, which is the smallest size we have here.
Where the other ones were how much?
12/1000.
So I mean, that's 9 thousandths difference.
So which?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That'll make a miss at idle. All right, let's get this thing back together.
We going to the pond?
Nope, no pond. Hey, you if you thought this was alcohol. If you thought that I would seriously have an open container in my car, come on guys. It's water. This is not a sponsored thing. It's sparkling water. I would much prefer Topo Chico, but Topo Chico needs to get their supply chain in check because it's not in any stores I go to, except for ABC Liquor, which I don't go to. I just go literally for Topo Chico. I've never actually been there, but I have other people go and get Topo Chico. Long story short, if you like Topo Chico, go to ABC Liquor.
That's a long plug.
One of my New Year's resolutions is more filler. I know you guys will love that. Okay, so this is what's going on. You saw the title of the video. There's a lot of components to this story. So to start off, to explain, I would like to dive into, we got two Supras, right? We got the white Supra and the red Supra. Didn't say a single thing about it. So first, we're gonna talk about what the plan for the white Supra is. And the Supra is in the employee shop. I wonder why. You got some explaining to do, Johan.
Yeah. I mean, he has some explaining to do.
Well, there were two Supras for sale. I only needed one, and I feel like we were kind of joking about it, and Johan was like, I want the other one. And sure enough, the white Supra is Johan's.
Yep.
So
I want you to tell them what your plan is. Damn, you got this thing. This is the first time I've seen this car since we got it.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
like all stripped out.
You only saw pictures.
It looks way less bad with everything removed.
Yeah. So my plan was to throw in my spare JC that I have at home in another chassis, and just keep it simple, bolt in, you know, basic, the things that work, and drive it. That's it, and just have fun. But then this showed up. This came up, and like I looked at it, and it was just like took things apart and assessed the damage more. I was like, yeah, I'll fix it, and it's gonna be a cool thing to do, and just be able to like start fresh with a new chassis. So it's just gonna keep basic angle stuff and stock 2J, you know, bolt-ons and things like that, and cage and stock body, pretty much.
It'll be a cool build. I feel like I haven't seen all the builds everyone goes so crazy with that you never see like a stock simple one.
Right.
It's always like full race car.
Yeah.
Wow, these things look sick with interior gutted. That is rad. Being a brand new car, look at that with the dash and everything.
Yeah.
Damn, you went to town on this thing already, huh?
Yeah, well, like I wanted to see how bad it was, so like taking everything out was one of those steps, and then at the same time, while taking everything out, then it's ready for whatever else I do with it. Keep it as simple as possible, just nothing crazy.
I'm stoked to see this
Yeah.
thing. Johan had another car that he was originally planning on building that lived in this exact spot, and we worked out a trade. So Johan traded me that car for this car, and we'll pop over to that other building and we'll go show him that car, because I never mentioned that in my video or what the plans were for that either. I'm stoked. We'll try to check in with Johan as he wrenches away on this thing and see how it comes along. All right, let's see how much weight you saved. I feel like that's maybe like 60 pounds.
Yeah, 50, 60 pounds.
It's less than I would have expected.
All these pieces, the harness is still in the car. I'm not using the harness.
True.
But
It's cool.
yeah.
I know what you guys are watching this video for, so I'm not going to waste too much time on this. But this is actually a really cool car. This is what Johan was building previously, but I think the A90 is just more exciting new car.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like I don't know. It's toss up because it is a cool car.
Yeah.
It is an actual M3. Has Brembos all around. Nice thick weather cage by Bell.
No engine.
No engine.
But it like my idea for this was going to be honestly what I probably would have used a white car for anyway. I really want to build an LS car. So I don't know what the purpose of it will be or when it will be built. Probably not anytime soon, but just a solid chassis with M3 drivetrain. The body's decent and a nice thick cage. I don't know. I think it was a good trade. I'm stoked to see you in an A90 though. Like that's gonna be baller.
Yeah.
Then you roll up to the track.
Yeah.
Cause like think about how many E46s people are rolling up into. But
Yeah, there's a lot of E46s now, but this is M3 E46.
I hope I didn't scare you too much with the title of this video. A little bit of clickbait, not really clickbait, because I am abandoning the original plans for this car. Now let me explain. This car, just to give you a little bit of background, if you haven't seen it before, I'm stupid and I forget that it's a right-hand drive car. It's a low mileage COIM FD. The paint is great. It's not perfect, like the color needs pearl in it, so I'm gonna end up repainting it at some point. But it's just extremely clean and it's very unmolested, and I've just been on the fence the entire time about this project because it's just got everything, right? And if I was gonna restore a car, it would be a great car to restore. And what it came down to is me really thinking about this as a build. I've built cars that are fun, usable, that I get a lot of seat time in. And then I've built cars that we can call more of a novelty car. And we'll use an example of like Zeroy or the Mustang that like are good and they're cool, but they're more like YouTuber cars. And by that I mean like they get views and they're cool on paper, but when you start changing engines and things, cars just don't really feel right. Like it's really hard to have an engine swap car and get it to feel good. S chassis are kind of a different story because there's just so much development around engine swaps and stuff. But the more I thought about it, I am so excited for the 4-rotor just to beat the ever-living daylights out of it. Like I want to drift it, I want to track race it, and I think that if I put that engine in this car, I wouldn't enjoy the engine to the fullest because I would be scared to beat the ever-living daylights out of this car. I wouldn't want to crash into a wall drifting because I'd be really upset. FDs don't really make the best drift cars, so there's that. And then like track driving wise, I feel like I'd be mad at myself because I really didn't want to cut this car up and put like big wide body on it, but I would need to do that to have the grip for the tires that I want to run. and it kind of spiraled down, and I just haven't been able to commit myself to this. Not to mention the whole 4-rotor thing is like technically an engine swap because it comes so much farther forward. Running AC would be a nightmare, so I would have a car that would like have terrible street manners, probably suck at traffic lights, no AC, loud, extremely loud, not really usable. I'd be scared to track drive it. It would be a useless car. I don't want this car to be a useless car. I've been so excited to build an FD. I'm still going to build this car, but it's going to be built more similar to my R34 in the sense that I'll do like a light restoration. I will keep the original 13B in it, but I'll have Vargas build me a 13B, and I'll do a big single, not big, but I'll do a single turbo and refresh this car to just enjoy it. Stock trans, stock diff, nothing like super crazy, and just keep the spirit of the FD alive without just like wrecking all the original out of the car that makes it special and losing the balance of the car and everything. So with that being said, now I have this awesome 4-rotor. I feel like it is the most anticipated build on the channel, especially for myself. It's just something that I've been looking so much forward to that I needed to find another chassis for it. Do you know where I'm going with this? I gotta give some credit to Marco, because this was technically his idea. We knew that Titan had these cars laying around there, and I just couldn't decide what chassis to put a 4-rotor in. I'm doing a 4-rotor Supra. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you could put some sound there so it doesn't sound that stupid and anticlimactic. Here's my thought process. I wanna enjoy the engine. I needed a chassis to serve as like a host for my fun, okay? Now, everyone knows E-chassis, best chassis in the world, E36, E46, but it would be boring and it would be another one of the same looking cars, and there's not a lot of like aesthetic options, where this I'm excited about because the chassis is similar to a BMW chassis, and it'll be great for grip driving, it'll be great for drifting, and it'll have decent street manners too. It's very easy to fit things in this. So the current plan is to build this. I want to do a Street Hunters wide body. TJ Hunt, if you're watching this, or if you guys could comment on TJ's video, let him know that I need a body kit and I need it yesterday. I haven't been wanting to talk about this, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting just because I wanted this build to be one of the builds that we like introduce to the channel and then knock it out in like 2 weeks. Because it really isn't going to be complex, and I'm very confident that we can get it done quickly. However, the complication, there's like little odds and ends of parts that I've been waiting for, and there's like so much of me that wants to start working on the car, but I don't want to start working on the car until I tell you guys the plans with it, because then I can't film it. With that being said, the biggest thing that I'm waiting on right now, I decided to go dry sump on the 4-rotor. Originally we were going to do wet sump, and we had everything that we needed, but now since I'm going dry sump, I need to wait for the pan so we can build the engine mounts off the pan. However, we did mock up the 4-rotor in the engine bay. It looks sick. I'll have Mike put a photo here. Fits really well. The first thing that we got to do, our buddy Nick that does a bunch of like chassis repair work is going to put the other whole pillar to cover this up, and then we'll fit the wide body and stuff. But the plan is, I haven't decided if I want to cage it or not. I think I might not cage it right off the rip and just kind of have this be a similar style car to the S15. So it's like somewhat streetable, somewhat drift car. It's not going to be competitive. It's going to be really high strung in a sense. I'm going to have to rev it out, and it's going to be a lot of work to drive, but it's going to be a blast. It really doesn't have any purpose other than fun. So I don't know. It's like, it's not going to be the fastest road car ever. I'm sure it's not going to be like the best time attack car ever, but if I go take this thing to the firm, it's going to be the most fun car ever on track, and it's going to sound amazing. So this chassis is nothing but a vessel for my fun. Oh, and the gearbox just showed up today. So I wanted to do sequential on it, but with that being said, the sequential that I was going to put in it is the one that I run in the E36. It takes like months to get parts for that. I had a broken transmission from last year, still haven't been able to get parts for it. The transmission that we run in the S15 I think is overkill, because it's probably only going to make like in the 5s to 600s for horsepower, and this is like 1200 horsepower with a breeze capable gearbox. The 6XD is like bad. So at PRI, I saw this box, and conveniently enough, a bunch of guys in the rotary world run it. Kyle Mohan runs it, Aaron Parker runs it, and they have 13B bell housings ready to go that are made specifically for this, so I don't have to deal with any weird adapter stuff. So this is the HGT 6-speed. Gear ratio should be really good for it. I'm excited. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I just got this in today. I'm gonna set it up with a shift cut. Has a shift cut on the shift knob, although I don't really use that much for drifting. It'll be sick if I do any like circuit driving and stuff on the car. But I'm stoked. I'll be able to fit some huge NTO1s with TJ's kit on the car, and it's gonna be really cool kind of learning a new chassis, and just like seeing Johan's car gutted made me really excited, and it kind of makes me want to take out the interior. I'm torn if I want to keep it full interior or go full race car. I know I want to wait to cage it. I'm probably gonna end up caging it, but I don't want to cage it right off the rip. right now I just want to fix the car, make it look nice, get the 4-rotor in there, and we got the flanges so Johan can start making me the craziest header ever. So I'm stoked for that. There are so many details. My head is like swimming with things that I want to talk to you guys about with this car, but I will probably wait to dive into more detail once we start actually pulling the car apart. Like I said, I've been like feeling weird about starting to really tear into the car because I didn't want to film it when I couldn't tell you guys what the plan was for it. So now that you know the plan, we can start diving into the car and start pulling stuff apart randomly in the background or in the midst of other videos. And as I can think of more things that I'm doing with it, I will fill you guys in. I'm excited. I'm excited for Johan to have one. I'm excited to have one. It's going to be ignorant. It's going to be fun. And I'm going to drive the piss out of it because I don't care if I push that thing into a wall like if I did the FD. Timeline-wise, I'm hoping so long as we get the parts, it could be done realistically by the end of February is like a very conservative timeline. I want to put as much focus onto it as I can. The FD, I'm trying to talk to Vargas to start getting an engine built for it, but that's something that unfortunately I know you guys will probably be mad at me. Engine-wise, we probably won't start to mess with it for a while, but maybe I'll start to put some of like the aesthetic stuff that I have for the car already on it, so that way I can at least drive it in its stock form and it'll look all cool and stuff. But anyway, this was, oh, the R34 is fixed. I don't know if I said that. I mean, I guess we showed you the problem, but it's all back together. It runs good now. I was really sad though, big sad. Do you want to see what I did? That stupid blue plastic wrap that we used to protect the paint on the car, I was a little too excited to peel it off, and I peeled it off too fast and ripped the clear off. So I think that's gonna force me to repaint the whole bumper. It already had some like chips on it. Like it definitely was not the best condition from bumper. It's been repainted. These Z-Tune bumpers are fiberglass from Nissan, and it's got some chips, it's got some spider cracks. If I can find another new one, I'll probably do another new one and have it painted. But I was purposefully not doing it right off the rip, so I didn't care about driving it and worry about rock chips and stuff. So if you guys know of an OEM Z-Tune bumper floating around, holler at your boy. But yeah, it rips now and it's all back good, and I just need to make my limiter less aggressive, and then I should not pop any more shims. But Happy New Year, guys. I want to also make a video, or maybe I'll talk about it on one of the streams, just about like some of my goals going into next year, some of the stuff that I want to do differently. But that I want to really like expand upon that topic and not just graze over it in this video. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'm excited for some of the new builds that you guys now know about and can look forward to in this upcoming year. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. When you said